What is up? It is Big Char Trades back with another YouTube video, and in this video I am going to be talking about the reality of being a day trader, a young day trader, whether you're 16, 17, 18, maybe you're even my age, I'm 24, right? I'm going to be talking about the reality of being a day trader because I feel like everybody on the internet, everybody and their mother on the internet make it seem like, you know, the cringe cars and watches and dinners and fucking skyrise apartments in Miami, right? Everybody makes it seem like that's what trading is about, but in reality, it's anything but that. Okay, if you like that stuff and you can afford it, great. But that's not what day trading is about, okay? And quite frankly, I don't really understand the people who see that and see that as motivational. I personally don't see it as motivational. I see it as people trying to flex. Right? But that's not the point of this video. Okay, the point of this video is, you know, the reality of being a day trader in your 20s. Okay, a young day trader. Okay, so really, what there is to this is just like you wake up, you trade, and then regardless of the outcome, you basically have the rest of the day to do whatever you want. But everybody makes it seem like day trading is this thing where it's like, you know, you got to put the hours in and you got to put all this work in to trade. It's not true. Okay, at first you need to put work in. At first you need to take the time to learn these concepts and understand what you're actually trading. But once you have that understanding, it's actually detrimental to learn more. Okay, the only thing that's going to help you from that point forward is backtesting and just trading itself, right? Those are the only two things that are going to make you a better trader. So if you can remove that sort of monk mode grind set type of thing when it comes to trading, that's going to help you out a ton going forward. Okay, and I actually believe that the less you feel for trading, right, the less you care, the better trader you actually are. Okay, so the reality of being a day trader isn't so much like, you know, you work your ass off every single day and then you live this lifestyle of being able to go to these dinners and buying these cars and blah, 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 blah. I mean, from my experience, that's not what being a trader is about. Being a trader is for that long-term financial freedom so that I can do whatever I want now, yes, but am I going to be done with my money? No, because I understand that I'm doing this with a purpose, right? I have a long-term vision. I want to be able to provide for my family. I want my family to be able to do whatever they want, whenever they want to do it. And I don't want there to be a question about, you know, whether we can afford it or not. Okay, so that's why I'm trading, right? I'm trading for not only the benefit of my life, but for my future's family's lives and for my friends' lives around me, right? I'm trading so that I can be that financially secure friend that's able to give their friends whatever experience they want, right? Who's able to provide, who's able to, you know, withstand whatever financial pressure going forward. Right, my mom's birthday's coming up. I just bought her a 14 karat gold watch for her birthday. Right, what do you see me wearing? Right, I'm wearing an Apple Watch, but I bought her that because I enjoy seeing my mom extremely happy. Right, she's provided for me her entire life, so I figured, what better way to make, you know, her feel good about me and my decision to start trading and start sort of working on my own thing. Right, what better way to do that than to actually provide for her, right? And this is honestly, I'm 24 years old. I've been trading for like 10 months. This is the first time in my life that I've actually bought my mom something like that, right? Like a watch that's made of real gold, that costs a lot of money, right? It's the first time I've done that sort of thing, okay? And it feels insane. But that's the reality of being a day trader. Right, it's not so much these flashy cars and dinners and watches and being an asshole. It's not that. It's more of, you know, you can provide the fulfillment for yourself that you appreciate. So if you want to spend your money on fucking golf clothes, for example, you want to get into golf or golf clubs, you can do that. Or if you want to get into tennis, you can go get into tennis. Or if you want to start training for a marathon, you can do that. Or if you want to travel, you can do that. Right? That is what trading is all about. It's providing freedom. It's not about flexing. And obviously, There are people that buy nice clothes because they appreciate them, right? There are creative people out there that love designer and these nice brands that only the higher end sort of people can afford, and that's completely okay, right? But the reason why I'm talking negatively about like the cars and the lifestyle and everything is because as a new trader, that's what you see online, and that's just not the reality. The reality of being a trader is fucking taking 5 months, 6 months to learn this skill that is going to pay you for the rest of your life, and enduring 6 months of failure over and over and over again, maybe even a year, maybe even 2 years of failure over and over and over again, not understanding why you're failing and just like digging this financial hole. You got to endure the fucking suck so that you can reap the rewards of what day trading has to offer. So I want to cover, now that I've sort of rambled for a little bit, I want to cover the topic of revenge trading, emotional trading, scaling trading, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, all right. The reality of day trading isn't so much like, you're not supposed to pay attention to the money. I know it sounds stupid, but the money actually does not matter at all in day trading. You don't become a better day trader by paying attention to the money. Now, most traders, when they start trading, right, the reality is they pay attention to the money because that's what they see online. And they want to make all this money to move out of their hometown, to find a new friend group, to level up in their life, to provide for the people around them. Whatever they want to do, they do that. And then that wanting of the money makes it so much harder for them to become good traders, because all they're focused about is the money. And that's a problem, because day trading is not about the money. Day trading is about learning the skill of day trading. It's about being able to get on the charts, understand what price is doing, what the market's doing, and execute while managing your risk and not putting yourself in a position where you could lose everything. Okay, I don't even know the amount of accounts I've blown, right? Of money I've lost through trading. But I do know that it wasn't until I stopped focusing on the money that I actually started to make progress with trading. So, focus on the skill, finding your draw on liquidity, right? Understanding market structure, understanding news, understanding how news affects the market, okay? Being able to look at a 4-hour time frame and understand where price wants to go. These are the skills that are going to make you money. Okay, what doesn't make you money is focusing on an entry model, or focusing on fucking how much money you're up this week, or focusing on targeting 4 to 5 hour trades. Okay, you need to start making a system for yourself, because that system, that skill of building that system and the system itself is what's gonna make you the money. And you just have to submit to the process and trust it. You have to trust it, because if you don't trust it, then you're not gonna make money. Okay, the only reason I've ever made money with trading is because I understood that, number one, I need to have red days in order to be profitable, right? That's just part of a system. And number two, if I can't handle losing a trade, then how the fuck am I ever going to make money in the long term with trading, right? It's just impossible to win every single trade. Nobody does that. But you shouldn't be blowing your accounts because of a lost trade. Okay, maybe you go 0 for 2 on the day. That's okay. That's part of a winning system. But you can't let going 0 for 2 translate into you opening the charts all day, being on the charts all day, looking for executions so you end the day green. That is a mistake. And that's exactly what's going to force you to blow your account, because over time, if you keep doing this shit where you take your first trade, it's an L. You take your second trade, it's an L. And then you keep looking for trades, you're just digging a deeper and deeper hole. Because when you're in that cycle, it doesn't even matter if you win a trade. It doesn't even matter if you're green, because you're always gonna want more because you're in that gambling headspace. And that's exactly what I'm trying to express to you in this video. The reality of being a trader isn't focusing on the money, isn't the money that you could make trading. It's not. The reality is focusing on the skill of day trading and becoming an educated trader that follows his rules, is disciplined in other areas of his life, etc., etc. That is the reality of being a day trader. Once you do that, that is when you will be rewarded. But you have to submit to the process, and you cannot let people online showing you these cars and watches and all this luxury stuff You cannot let that be the reason why you start trading, because if you don't fall in love with the game, then you're not gonna survive. You're not gonna make it with day trading. That's just how it works. Right? You have to fall in love with it because it's gonna rip you apart. And the only way that you get out of that cycle of it ripping you apart is if you're able to step back and understand that you're in this for the long run and you fucking love doing this every single day. That's the only thing that's gonna fucking help you. Okay? So don't get motivation from your P&L. Don't get motivation from what people are posting on Instagram. Find that inner motivation and fall in love with the charts, fall in love with following your system, fall in love with the whole game of trading. Because at the end of the day, once you fall in love with it, you're never gonna quit it. If you never quit it, you're gonna eventually find what works. Okay? So the reality of being a day trader in your 20s isn't all about the money. It's not fucking $1,000 days, $10,000 days, $5,000 days every single day. It's not. It's a series of ups and downs, right? The really high highs are followed by the really low lows. The really low lows are followed by the really high highs, right? The rubber band effect. We all know what that is. Okay, but the only thing that's going to keep you in the game over the long run is your love for the game. And if you're attached to the money, then you're not going to be in love with the game. Because if you're attached to the money, you're easily going to see that it's not going to be easy. You're going to fail, and you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to go start freelance brand scaling. I'm going to go start e-commerce. I'm going to go start growth operating, because all you want is the money. So forget about the money. Fall in love with the game. That's what's going to make you profitable. That is what is going to help you. Okay, that's what helped me. And I'm living proof of it. When I started trading, I was only doing it for the money. And then slowly as time went on, I really fell in love with it. And I had really low lows. And after I got that first payout, it rolls over and you get more and more and more, right? And that's just how it works. But the day that you decide that you're in trading for the money is the day that you decide that you're going to fail. So do what you can. Understand that you have to fall in love with the skill. Okay, trading isn't all about the money. It's about the skill of trading, and the money's just a byproduct of you developing that skill. Okay? If you like this type of video, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you have anything to say at all, let me know in the comments below. I literally read all of my comments. So if you have anything to say, let me know. Subscribe if you're new. I post nearly every day. I post trade recaps. You can check my channel for those. I didn't actually take a trade today, so that's why there's no trade recap from today. But, you know, subscribe if you want. Follow me on other socials. Join the narrative. I am going to have the narrative premium up and running by Friday, so that's when it's going to be released. But other than that, peace out. Have a great rest of your day, and happy Wednesday.